Hi everyone, Petrik here. So for today's video, this video is a bit late because today I'll be talking about all the books that I acquired last month. And yeah, today's video will be my March book haul video. I won't lie, I've been thinking about ditching the ideas of doing a book haul or at least decreasing the number of book hauls on my YouTube channel, but I'm still not too sure about it. Do let me know what you think about that. But anyway, as I said, today's video will be about all the books that I got last month. I got about, I think, 22 books last month. And as always, let's start from the books that I bought first. And for the first four that I'm going to show today, well, all of them are books that I bought from Book Outlet. And yeah, the first one is actually something super beautiful. It is God's Illustrated Edition. I can't believe that I actually managed to score a copy of this one on Book Outlet. And this is, as far as I know, this is a limited edition. It comes with a slipcase. It is published by Golangs. And yeah, take a look at this. When I open the slipcase, this is how it looks. The book is Guards and it is illustrated by Paul Kitby. And I haven't finished reading anything by Terry Pratchett. I hope that Guards will be the first one that I finish, either this one or maybe Small Gods. But now that I'm in the possession of this beautiful edition, who knows, maybe I will just start from this one instead. And yeah, this is fully colored. Every artwork inside this, I think almost all of them are fully colored by Paul Kitby. And this is signed as well. Ta-da! I think many people have told me that Guards is one of their favorite Discworld novels. And as I said, I look forward to finishing this one, hopefully within this year. And let's see whether Terry Pratchett will be an author for me or not. And for the next two books that I got from Book Outlet, I think I have mentioned many times now that I'm not a fan of deckled edges. And somehow, well, not only the next two books, but the next three books that I got from Book Outlet, all of them have deckled edges. I didn't know about that. But yeah, the first two, they are part of the 5 penalty series by Marina Lost-Tether. And they are The Helm of Midnight and then the sequel, The Cage of Dark Hours. And this is the first two books in the 5 penalty series. And as you can see here, they have deckled edges. I'm just not a fan of deckled edges. I think it somehow make the book look broken. And I'm not a fan of deckled edges. But I am a fan of The Helm of Midnight. This is a criminally underrated fantasy novel, in my opinion. It is a great blend of mystery, murder mystery, thrillers, and also high fantasy. Despite how much I love The Helm of Midnight though, I still haven't read the sequel, The Cage of Dark Hours. And now, because I saw these two books were discounted very cheaply on Book Outlet, I decided to get 2 of them. And hopefully I will read Cage of Dark Hours sooner than I thought. But, you know, here's the thing. As always, it has been a while since I've read The Helm of Midnight, so I don't know whether I should do a reread of that one first or just dive immediately into The Cage of Dark Hours. I hope there is a detailed summary on The Helm of Midnight on the beginning of the Cage of Dark Hours, but I hope it will be sufficient enough for me to recall the important things from The Helm of Midnight. But if you haven't read the 5 penalty series yet, if you love murder mystery and also a high fantasy story centered on, well, finding out who the serial killer is and the identity and all that, then give the 5 penalty series a try. It also has a unique and interesting hard magic system. And finally, the last book that I bought from Book Outlet, it is a classic. This is for The Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. And yeah, this is a very, very highly praised book. And I know it sounds like a sin to be saying this because I am not a fan of Western stories, whether it is in manga, in novels, in movies. Most of the time, Western stories or Western setting just does not click with me. I don't know why. It's something about the setting itself that just doesn't vibe well with me. But people told me that if I want to try reading an amazing Western novel, then this is the right choice. At least read this one. And I think Mike from Mike Book Review, I think he said that The Lonesome Dove is his favorite book of last year. So yeah, that is very promising. I look forward to reading this one. I don't know when, hopefully soon. And again, just like the 5 penalty series, somehow this one comes with the deckled edges as well. But yeah, even though I'm not a fan of this, hopefully the book will be amazing. So that's it for the books that I bought portion. Now let's move on to review copies sent to me by self-published fantasy authors. And the first one is The Bloodstones by Tori Tekken. This is a fellow booktubers, and I'm really happy that this book is finally in my hands. I've been wanting to read this one for quite a while now. Tori has mentioned many times about how ambitious and how passionate she is about this work, and I look forward to reading this. I think it has a beautiful cover art by Sarah from Sparrow Springs, and yeah, it is signed, hold on, this is the map, and it is signed to me with, and this book, the first book in Legends of the Bruhai, it is signed as well. I really like Tori's handwriting. It is so neat, unlike my own handwriting. But yeah, looking forward to reading this one. If you have read The Bloodstones, let me know what you think about it. I think this is supposedly a great fantasy book with great character development, and I think it will be a character-driven story, which is always a plus for me. And then after that, the next one that I got, it is The Lost Souls by Ryan Skeffington. This is a sci-fi novel. I haven't read this one. Of course, this is a review copy, and it is a bit crook, but it is okay. It still came in very good condition. Overall, I think the artist behind this cover art, Christopher Kent, if you love artwork on Arthurian retelling and also on knights in general, definitely check out his portfolio. Christopher Kent is an amazing artist, and I'm glad to see his artwork portrayed on the cover art. And yeah, this is the cover art. The Lost Souls, I heard from a few readers and reviewers who have given this book a try that it is, well, great impact packed into one small volume. I think this one is less than 300 pages long, and well, I'm in the mood for sci-fi thanks to Christopher Rocchio's books, and hopefully this one will be great as well. I will read this one in the middle of my usual big books reading. And after that, the last published review copies that I got is again a sci-fi, or to be more precise, a science fantasy novel. It is Dark Kingdom by Wick Welker, and you can see my name here. I think this is the first time my review is featured on the front cover of a book, so thank you so much to Wick Welker for this honor. But yeah, I love Dark Theory. I think it is a great hard sci-fi novel, but usually when it comes to hard sci-fi, well, usually the theories and all that, they are quite difficult to digest, but I think Wick Welker did a great job in implementing them into his narrative, making them more accessible, and even though the characters, some of them can be, well, they can be testing to the patience, but I think the results and the character arc was worth it. And yeah, I look forward to reading The Dark Kingdom. I hope this will be as good as Dark Theory. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a sequel novella, and that's why this one is really short. But there will be a sequel novel that comes after this one and also after Dark Theory. But yeah, looking forward to reading this. Thank you so much to Wick for sending me a copy of Dark Kingdom. So that's it for review copies sent to me by self-published fantasy authors. Moving on to the next one, these are gifts. These are two birthday gifts that I finally got last month, even though my birthday is in January, but the books only came last month. The first one is, oh, this is heavy. Digger Unearthed by Ursula Vernon. I think some of you might know Ursula Vernon from her other author's name, and that is the Kingfisher. But all this time, I have always wondered why there is a wombat on her profile picture, on the Kingfisher's profile picture, and well, now I know. It is because of Digger Unearthed. This is a graphic novel. I have read about 100 pages of it just to give it a try, and it is surprisingly really good. It is really fun and also quite whimsical. I look forward to reading the rest of the book. This is pretty much all the volumes combined into one omnibus edition by Underthing Press, which is a collaboration between Petrik and also Sean Speakman from Grim Oak Press. And yeah, this is a fine press edition. But I got this one, as a gift, really cheap, because this was on sale from Grim Oak Press Black Friday sale last year, and my wife got me a copy of this one. Hopefully this will be amazing, because the average rating for Digger Unearthed right now on Goodreads is surprisingly really high, like above 4.7 average ratings, which is impressive. So yeah, looking forward to reading the rest, but I love the first two chapters of Digger Unearthed so far. And then the next gift that I got, this is sent to me by Isa from Fun Fantasy Books as a birthday present. And yeah, this is a beautiful edition. This is Eragon by Christopher Paolini, illustrated by Siddharth Chaturvedi. And I think many of you know that I am not a huge fan of Eragon. I think it was a bit too late, or to be more precise, a bit too old for me to be reading Eragon for the first time. But I do still want to try reading it again someday. I don't know when. And when I do that, well, I definitely will use this beautiful edition. This book, this edition, it comes fully illustrated. There are so many beautiful illustrations like this throughout the entire novel, and I think it will enrich my reading experience of Eragon by Christopher Paolini. And I want to say thank you so much to Isa for sending me this beautiful edition. I heard that Christopher Paolini and also the publisher plan to do this kind of treatment for the rest of the series. So Ride the Dragon, Inherit the Legend is also stamped on the back. Hopefully, the second time I read through Eragon, hopefully it will be a better experience thanks to this beautiful edition. So that's it for the gifts that I got last month. And because I'm in the middle of talking about special editions and also Eragon, let's move on to talk about special editions I got last month. Or, well, I think it is more precise to actually call this the Broken Binding section, because these are all Broken Binding editions. And the first one is Murta by Christopher Paolini. This is the newest book in the world of Eragon, and I think it takes place after the end of the inheritance cycle, of the first quartet in the inheritance cycle. And the cover art is done by John Jude Palencar, but this beautiful edition by Broken Binding, it comes with these edges by Rene Eichner, and also illustrated and papers by Rene Eichner as well. But I don't think you can actually see this because it is dark. But yeah, it is a beautiful illustrations. This one is done by Katrina Paints, if I'm not mistaken. And let's take a look at the back and paper. Ta-da! This one is gorgeous. Love this one very much. And yeah, many people told me that Murta is Christopher Paolini's most adult epic fantasy novel. And I think this is one of the main reasons I want to try reading Inheritance Cycle again. Hopefully I will get here someday, but yeah, for now I'm glad to own this copy. And then the next two books that I got from the Broken Binding, oh, you know what, let's show this one first. This is The Iron Crown by L.L. McRae. Because I was talking about dragons, let's talk again about dragons. This is Iron Crown by L.L. McRae. I think this is the third Broken Binding Press edition, their fun press treatment of indie fantasy books. And I think this is beautiful. Again, it comes with the golden gilded edges. The cover art is done by Felix Ortiz. It is a wraparound cover art, and there are plenty of interior illustrations as well. Let's show a few of them. And it is signed by L.L. McRae. And I heard a lot of great things about this book. I think this is the kind of book that will be suitable to those who love reading a classic Dragon Rider fantasy. And here is an example of the interior illustrations. This one is not done by Felix Ortiz. And additionally, there is also this design being put on the naked hardcovers, and it is cloth bound. Really love this one. Hopefully, Broken Binding Press will only get better and better with each new publication. And I know The Fall and Never Die will be next. Hopefully, I can feature them on my channel as well. And then the next two that I got, these are She Who Became the Sun and also He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. Ta-da! This is the edges. And yeah, I have read She Who Became the Sun. It is a beautiful book and great book, but I haven't read He Who Drowned the World yet, the conclusion to the Radiant Emperor duology. I haven't read this one. Hopefully it will be a great conclusion to the duology. I heard from many people that this is actually better than She Who Became the Sun, so that's promising. Again, same situation though, I don't know whether I should do a second read of She Who Became the Sun first before reading He Who Drowned the World. And then after that, I also got a copy of The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is an amazing book. For whatever reason, for whatever stupid reasons, I somehow forgot to include The Tainted Cup in my list of best books of 2023 because I read this one in 2023. I think I will fix that this year, even though I read it last year. I think it deserves an exception because this is an amazing blend of fantasy and murder mystery. And if you have read Attack on Titan, you love watching Knives Out or maybe Sherlock Holmes, I think this book will be for you. I have posted a full spoiler review about The Tainted Cup on my YouTube channel, and if you want to know my full thoughts as spoiler-free as possible about that book, feel free to check out that video review. And yeah, this one is the UK edition, UK Broken Binding edition. So it comes with a cover art by Tom Roberts. Beautiful illustrations, and I think it looks even better than the US hardcover edition. And speaking of genre blending fantasy book, I think this one will be included in it, and it is Perdido Street Station by China Mieville. Don't know anything about this one except that it is weird, bizarre, and also incredible. And because Broken Binding is publishing this one, I decided that I wanted a copy of this edition, and this is quite big. I think it is 800 pages long, and hopefully it will be as amazing as people said. I think many have agreed that the first book, Perdido Street Station, is the best one out of all 3 books in the new Crobuzone series. Either this one or the next one, which is The Scars. Not sure whether the Broken Binding will be publishing that one, but I think this one actually sold really well, so there is a really good chance The Scar will be happening as well. And then after that, the last Broken Binding edition that I got, it is The Slaughtered Gods by Tilde Cold Hope. This is the 3rd and the final book in the Hang God trilogy, and it is the March subscription book from the Broken Binding. And I think out of every book that has been released and revealed by the Broken Binding, I think honestly this is the best cover art. Randy Vargas went insane on this cover art. It is such a beautiful wraparound cover art. Beautiful, really. And you can see this is probably Thor, this is probably Jormungand, and then this is probably Odin. I haven't read the series yet. This is just my prediction from seeing the cover art. So I think it is safe to assume that Ragnarok is happening in the cover art of the Slaughtered Gods. Looking forward to reading this trilogy for the first time. I haven't read anything by Tilde Cold Hope yet, but I have always been a fan of Norse mythology, so hopefully this one will be a great book. Great conclusion. And speaking of the subscription box, I think some of you know that I'm an art director for the month of July until the month of December. It hasn't been announced what their status is, but I think many of you will be happy about that. Hopefully it won't be too long before the information is released to the public. And finally, the last item that I got from the Broken Binding, this is not a special edition, even though it should count as one. This is The Empire of the Dam by J. Kristoff. So this is the first signed book by J. Kristoff that I now own. And yeah, it is a sequel to Empire of the Vampire. I have wanted to read this one ever since I finished reading Empire of the Vampire, but it has been a while since I read Empire of the Vampire. So it has been difficult to resist jumping into this one immediately, but at the same time, I also, again, faced with the same dilemma on whether I should reread Empire of the Vampire first or not, because I want to be able to experience the story here without feeling like I'm lost in details that I should have remembered because it has been a while since I read Empire of the Vampire. But again, just like the first book in the trilogy, this one is packed full with illustrations by Monolime or Bon Artwick. I think it is more than 20 black and white illustrations. It is an amazing, really. It should come as special editions. And if you have read Empire of the Dam, do let me know whether you think I should do a second read of Empire of the Vampire first or just jump into this one immediately. My patrons have told me that there are some summaries regarding what happened to each main characters in the previous book, so hopefully that will be enough for me to remember the necessary details from Empire of the Vampire and read this one immediately, because I am planning to do a full reread of the trilogy once the release date of the 3rd book comes out. Finally, let's move on to the final section of today's book haul video. It is review copies sent to me by traditional publishers. The first 3 books, all of them were sent to me by Harper Voyager, and this is The Dollmakers by Lynn Buchanan, the first book in the Fallen Peak series. And even though this is marketed as a standalone novel, I think, as I said, this will be a series. There is no doubt about that. I have read and really enjoyed this book. It is very compelling, and just like The Tainted Cup, I have posted a full review of The Dollmakers on my YouTube channel. It is one of the best books that I have read this year so far. If you love character-driven stories, you don't mind reading a main character that is insufferable for about half of the book, well, I think this one will be for you. But yeah, rest assured, there is a payoff in the character arc. Even though she was so insufferable for the first half of the novel, I really like the character that she developed into by the end of the novel. I'm talking about Xian, one of the 2 main characters in The Dollmakers. But yeah, love this one. I think it is an incredible debut, one of the nominees for the best fantasy debut of this year, in my opinion. And then after that, Harper Voyager also sent me a copy of Dragon Rider by Taran Mataru. I think this is the first adult fantasy novel by the author. Taran Mataru has released plenty of novels before The Dragon Rider, but all of them are YA fantasy novels. I think the most popular one is The Summoner. So I don't know anything about The Dragon Rider yet, but well, it is Dragon Rider. I assume that this will be something that suitable to those of us who love reading The Bound and the Broken, and then maybe Inheritance Cycle, and then the Echo Saga by Philip C. Quantrill, and also Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. That's my expectation anyway. But yeah, hopefully this one will be great. If you have read Dragon Rider, let me know how this stands among your favorite Dragon Rider fantasy stories. And after that, I got a copy of Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. This one I think is a contemporary fiction from R.F. Kuang, which is different, very different compared to the Poppy War trilogy and also Babel. I am not sure at all whether I will end up enjoying Yellow Face or not. Really not sure about it, but I look forward to reading it. I have read all the books by R.F. Kuang, and there is one thing that I can admire from her. One of the many things that I can admire from her is that she keeps on trying new things with her storytelling. And yeah, hopefully this one will be engaging as well. And then I got a copy of Bloodjade. This one is sent to me by the authors, Julia V. and also Ken Bebel. And this is the sequel to Ebony Gate, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the name of the first book, and this is an urban fantasy series. An Asian-inspired urban fantasy series. The authors have mentioned that Greenbone Saga was one of the main inspirations behind their decision to begin writing this urban fantasy trilogy. And yeah, hopefully it will be great. I tend to love reading Asian-inspired fantasy stories. And after that, the final two books that I got last month, both of them were sent to me by Ben Books. The first one is Raidbound by Tim Akers. And this is, the cover art is done by Jeff Brown. And yeah, not gonna lie, the cover art is the one that got my attention. I haven't read anything by Tim Akers yet. And beyond the fact that this is the first book in the Spirit Binders saga, I don't know anything else about this book. But again, because the cover art was so beautiful, I decided to request a review copy of this one, and hopefully I can get around to it sooner than later. But here is the last book that I got last month, and it is the one that I'm reading right now. And yeah, it is Discord Gods by Christopher Rocchio, the sixth book in the Sun Eater series, and it is the penultimate installment of the series. I don't think I need to say too much about this one. You all know my thoughts about the Sun Eater, and I'm more than halfway through Discord Gods right now. I think I should be able to finish this probably tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and I will do my best to post a review of it really soon. But this is bonkers, and yeah, absolutely insane book. Amazing book, really, just from the first 250 pages, from the first arc of Discord Gods. I already know this will be a 5-star read. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And it only gets better and better with each page, with each chapter. Seriously, it is an amazing, and it is truly an honor for me to have my reviews and my words being put into one of my favorite series of all time. You can see this is me, and then this is Treebeard. So this is together with other booktubers as well. And then this is Mike from Mike Book Reviews. And at the front, you can see Daniel Green being put here. And yeah, really loving the heck out of this one. And I will post a full detailed, probably spoiler-free review of this one really soon. Thank you so much really to Christopher Rocchio and also Ben Books for sending me a personalized and signed copy of Discord Guts. So that's it. That's all the books that I got last month. I know that it is very late. We are already in the middle of April. But well, better late than never, right? And speaking of never, do let me know again what do you think about the ideas of ditching book haul videos. If that is indeed the case, then the next few book haul videos will be the last one on my YouTube channel. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this book haul video. Do let me know which one here do you think looks, which one here excites you the most, and how many books you got last month. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.